Okay, so this is part two. And I left off when she started repeating back everything that I prayed to God about. So I mentioned that I was talking to the guy and I was telling him how I feel like I wasn't doing enough for him. And she goes to say, God is pleased with you and he's going to reward you for your efforts. I started crying deep. Then she goes on to say, I brought up how I haven't had a church home. No, before then, she brings up my grandma. I started crying even harder because she, my grandma, she was very important in my life and she really helped shape the person I am today. So when she brought her up, yeah, snot, tears everywhere. So anyways, she was basically saying, your grandma's prayers are still being fulfilled today. And then she goes on to say, because I mentioned that I didn't have, no, she goes to say, hey, what church do you go to? Remember, I was praying to God that I want to get back in church, the desire for me to get back in church and stuff like that. So she asked me, what church do you go to? I say, I don't have one. I haven't been to another church since my grandma passed away. So she says, I'll tell you what, you have to be ready, but each Sunday I'll come and get you and I'll bring you to the church that I go to. And that could be your new church home. So I'm crying even harder because, like I said, everything that I was saying, I was praying to God. She started confirming. I don't know this lady from a can of paint. I never met her. That was the first time I ever, encountered her, was that lift ride. So I'm crying even harder, but I'm still excited. I'm like, yes, I'll be ready. I'll be ready. We exchanged numbers and she was like, I'm still crying. She was like, I hope there's tears of joy that you cry. And I was like, yes, you just don't understand. I've literally was just praying to God about everything that you just repeated back to me. And she was like, yep, that's God. And I was like, it gotta be. And she was like, it is, because I don't know you. So how else would I know that? And then I was like, you're right, and stuff like that. So I'm crying and stuff. We exchanged numbers. And later on that following Sunday, I believe either it was the following Sunday or the Sunday after that, I ended up rededicating my life back to Christ that day. And that day, I feel like it really sparked like the fire for Christ in me, because he showed me, like, he really encountered me at my lowest, and he showed me that he was listening. He was listening to me. So, yeah.